إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه من سار على سبيله إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. So last lesson was talking about, you can remember. No, you wasn't here to this, you wouldn't know. No one knows? We spoke about last. We started to talk about shirk. Habibi, can you just close these windows, please? So we spoke about shirk al-akbar, and the evidences that we're going to mention some of the evidences that were mentioned regarding shirk al-akbar. And obviously we mentioned, for example, هو صرف شيء من عبادة لغير الله, for example, to direct something from the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also of the things that is of the things I wanted to mention, shirk akbar, it occurs in tawheed al-rububiyyah wa tawheed al-uluhiyyah. That is in Allah's lordship and Allah's worship, i.e. that a person believes that there's another creator other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or that someone else or something else has an impact on the universal matters and the universal affairs and the likes. Now, I don't understand your question, sorry. Someone asked, what is madkhali? What is madkhali? So my response to that question, madkhali is a term that is used as a means, this praiseworthy term used to talk about people of the Sunnah. Now you have some, unfortunately, who have gone into extremes and they quote Sheikh, some of the Sheikh that their name is Al-Madkhali. And there's a number of them. It's a tribe. It's a name of many of scholars have that name, Madkhali. But unfortunately, some who have gone to extreme and they attribute themselves to follow the likes of these Mashaykh, that sometimes they're not a true reflection of these Mashaykh. What happens, they cause people that are enemies of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah to use these terms just as they use Wahhabi. So Madkhali is the new Wahhabi term. It's a new way of calling someone a Wahhabi, call him Madkhali. So we should leave these off, inshallah. We should leave off these terms as they're not befitting, and that's the reality. No, I understand you. I'm not saying that you asked the question, I'm only giving the answer. So when I answer, you don't think I'm saying that you are from those who have that approach. I'm just giving you just the answer to your question. Now, Jazakallah khair. So now there was a number of evidences mentioned that we didn't go through regarding the question of what ma huwa shirk al-akbar. So from them, we mentioned إن الله لا يغفر أن يشرك به ويغفر ما دون ذلك لمن يشاء ومن يشرك بالله فقد افترى إثما عظيما. Yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not forgive that a person associates any partners with him. يعني أن يجعل ما لله خاصة يعني نذيرا وشريكا. Now, is that a person makes anything that's specific to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that gives Allah a partner in that, or directs it to other than Allah. And this is shirk akbar. Now, Allah does not forgive a person who dies upon major shirk, but Allah forgives other than that for whom He wills. Allah yaghfiru liman yasha ghayru dhalik. Allah forgives whatever He wills for other than that. Now, it mentions whoever associates partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then has transgressed and fabricated upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a great sin. Now, also what's mentioned, وَمَنْ يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ ضَلَالًا بَعِيدًا. Whoever associates partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then has gone far astray. Also, Allah mentioned, إنه من يشرك بالله فقد حرم الله عليه الجنة ومأواه النار. هذه الآية يدل على سوء العاقبة لمن مات على الشرك. Shirk. This shows that the evil consequence of the one who dies upon a shirk. Mentions Allah has prohibited Jannah for this person. يعني جعل الجنة حراما له. يعني لا يدخل الجنة أبدا. نعم ومأواه النار, and his dwelling place is going to be the hellfire. So, how do you deal with someone calling you Wahhabi, say Jazakallah khairan, bainana al-hisab yawm al-qiyamah? Actually, people are going to call you names. If you turn to everyone who calls you names, you're going to waste your life. Like, don't care about what people say about you, just tukhlis lillah. They called the Prophet Kahin, called him a sorcerer, Sahir, Majnoon, all of these, Kadhab. You didn't hear him responding to every Ahmed, Zayd and John. No. You see, don't waste your, people say whatever they want. Just you focus on your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, so they mentions, ومن يشرك بالله فكأنما خر من السماء فتخطفه الطير أو تهوي به الريح في مكان سحيق. Now what mentions here, ومن يشرك بالله, this is like a conditional sentence. Whoever associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فكأنما, it's as if خر من السماء is fallen from the heavens, fallen from the sky, فتخطفه الطير, and then the bird has come and snatched him. Look at the way Allah gives these examples. This is the reality of the one who commits shirk. أو تهوي به الريح في مكان سحيق, يعني مكان سحيق مكان بعيد جدا. Or that he is thrown by the wind to a very remote place. Now I'm cast away, insignificant. Now, so, and other than this from the ayat that mention the reality of shirk, the people of shirk and the punishment that awaits them. نسأل الله السلامة والعافية. They mention قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حق الله على العباد أن يعبدوه ولا يشركوا به شيئا وحق العباد على الله أن لا يعذب من لا يشرك به شيئا وهو في الصحيحين. هذا جزء من الحديث. This is a part of the hadith that Mu'adh bin Jabal rahimahullah radiallahu anhu, he heard this hadith from the Prophet ﷺ. He said, أفلا أبشر الناس, should I not give the people the glad tidings of this hadith? He said, لا فيتكلوا لا تبشرهم فيتكلوا. Don't give them that news of this hadith so they become reliant upon it. I mentioned in this hadith the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over his servants is that they worship him and don't commit shirk, don't associate any partners with Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, what is the right of the ibad? What's the right that Allah's servants have over him? The right that Allah has given us over himself, not that we can demand any rights over Allah. Allah has placed this right over himself. What is that right? That if we do not associate partners with him, that we are not to be punished. Now, ومعاذ بن جبل يعني كتم هذا الحديث حتى قبل مماته. He concealed this hadith until before he died, and he narrated it out of fear of kitman al-ilm, out of fear of concealing knowledge. So before he died, he informed them of this hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is also evidence of the truthfulness of Islam, that Allah has preserved Islam, preserved the Quran and the Sunnah, as they are both revelation. And the fact that Allah inspired Mu'adh bin Jabal to narrate the hadith before he died, showing that Allah has preserved Islam. It also shows us that at times it's permissible to conceal knowledge if there's a need. If there's a need. Now, إذا كان المصلحة أعظم من المفاسد. If the benefit is better than the harm. So what he mentions of them, ويستوي في الخروج بهذا الشرك عن الدين المجاهر به ككفار قريش وغيرهم. He said, and equal in this regarding being expelled from Islam because of this type of shirk, which is major shirk, is also the one who openly proclaims their shirk, like the kuffar of the Quraysh. Also, وَالْمُبْتِنْ لَهُ كَالْمُنَافِقِينَ الْمُخَادِعِينَ. Also those who conceal their disbelief, like the hypocrites, who try to deceive now by portraying openly Islam but concealing their disbelief. الَّذِينَ يُظْهِرُونَ الْإِسْلَامَ وَيُبْتِنُونَ الْكُفْرَ. Those who openly show Islam but they conceal disbelief. طيب, for those who were around when Sheikh Salim was giving us some benefits, when did the munafiqeen emerge? Who knows? In Medina. There was no munafiqeen in Mecca. Why? Because the Muslims at that time were weak. They didn't have a stronghold. So there was no need to be a hypocrite. There was no benefit of being a munafiq. You see? People concealed their Islam, not concealed their kufr during the time of قبل حجر المدينة. لما قوي الإسلام سلامة الله وجيش المسلمون, and the Muslim army within Medina, ثم ظهر المنافقون. Then the munafiqun became apparent. نعم. وكانوا من كثير منهم كانوا من اليهود. Many of them are from the Jews of the Medina, the three tribes of Banu Qurayza, Banu Nadir, and another one, the name slipped me now, from the tribes of the Yahud that were in Medina. Many of the munafiqun came from them. Qaynuqa, now. So this is the reality. There was no need for there to be any hypocrites during the time of what? The Meccan period, but they came in the Madini period. Then also of the evidence mentioned by the author rahimahullah, وقال الله تعالى إن المنافقين في الدرك الأسفل من النار ولن تجد لهم نصيرا إلى قوله تعالى إلا الذين تابوا وأصلحوا واعتصموا بالله وأخلصوا دينهم لله فأولئك مع المؤمنين وغير ذلك من الآيات. And he mentions the munafiqeen, indeed the munafiqeen في الدرك الأسفل, in the lowest dwelling places of the hellfire. الدرك يعني الدرك يقال أن منازل النار, they are the dwelling places of the hellfire. نعم. So المنافقين في الدرك الأسفل, يعني the lowest dwelling place of the hellfire. هذا يدل على ماذا؟ على شدة النفاق. نعم. وخطورة النفاق وسوء النفاق. This is all evidence of the evil of hypocrisy. That a person who is a hypocrite will be in the lowest places of the hellfire. وهو أشد من الكافر المشرك البين. They're worse than the clear-cut kafir. Because the clear-cut kafir, you know they're a disbeliever. But هذا يكتم إيمانه, يعني يكتم كفره ويظهر ماذا؟ الإسلام والإيمان. Allah al-Musta'an. This person, they're showing you that they're Muslim, but in deep inside, they hate you. In reality, they hate you, they want your head. You see? ونسأل الله السلامة والعافية. وكذلك نشكر الله ونحمده أنه من علينا بالإسلام. We ask Allah to pardon us and to safeguard us, but we also show gratitude to Allah that He has bestowed His favor upon us with Al-Islam. But when this was mentioned, that those hypocrites are going to be in the lowest pits of the hellfire, and you'll not find for any of them, لن تجد لهم, they'll never find therein what? نصيرا, من ينصرهم, who is going to help them. من ينصر أهل النار من عذاب الله, who can aid the people of the hellfire from the punishment of Allah Azza wa Jal? لا أحد, لا أحد. فأين شركاؤهم الذين ادعوا في حياة الدنيا? Where are the associates, their partners that they called upon in the dunya? أين هؤلاء؟ نعم. أيمنعونك من عذاب الله? Can they prevent you from the punishment of Allah Azza wa Jal? لا. حتى أنفسهم لا. You see, they can't save themselves, let alone you. نعم. وأشد من كان يعبد الأصنام والأشجار والله المستعان. Worse is those who used to worship idols and trees and other than this. Then after this he goes on to, and he mentions, for example, there's an exception, إلا الذين, except for those who تابوا, يعني تابوا عن الشرك قبل الممات, they sought forgiveness from shirk before they died. نعم. وأصلحوا, they rectified the affairs. واعتصموا بالله, and they hold firmly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وأخلصوا دينهم, and they purify their religion for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فأولئك مع المؤمنين, they are the ones who are with the believers. Now, so again, it's important to understand the severity of ash-shirk, of worshipping other than Allah, associating partners with Allah Azza wa Jal. This will be a cause for a person entering the lowest pits of the hellfire. Now, then after this, the author rahimahullah goes on to mention ما هو الشرك الأصغر. What is shirk al-asghar? What is minor shirk? طيب. And what's important to understand, these terms are not bid'ah. الشرك الأصغر جاء في الحديث. جاء في الحديث صحيح النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أخوف ما أخاف عليكم الشرك الأصغر كما سيأتي إن شاء الله. طيب، فما هو الشرك الأصغر؟ What is minor shirk؟ قال هو يسير الرياء الداخل في تحسين العمل المراد به الله تعالى. قال الله تعالى فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. So look, in this it mentions what is shirk al-asghar. هو يسير الرياء, not just riya, يسير الرياء. He mentions slight riya, showing off. الداخل, that enters upon في تحسين العمل, in beautifying the action. على سبيل المثال جاء واحد إلى المسجد ولم يكن أحد في المسجد إلا هو, فبدأ يصلي تحية المسجد. نعم, he's the only one in the masjid, no one else is there. He begins to pray 2 ركعات تحية المسجد. ثم سمع واحد يدخل خلفه من باب. Then he heard someone enters from behind. Maybe he was praying like quick, and the next thing you know, he's slowed down, back straight, perfect the salah. So tranquil now, mashallah, brother. See the salah, you're like, subhanAllah, this guy is in ihsan. Beautifying his salah to this level. Why did he do that? هل فعل هذا لله؟ أصل العبادة كان لله. أولا بدأ يريد الله. When he first started his act of worship, كان يقصد الله تعالى. He was intended to do it for Allah. Then دخل الرياء لما سمع أناسا. Then riya, showing off, entered his act of worship when he heard people. So he started to beautify the act of salah. هذا الرياء. وإذا لم يجاهد هذا صلاته باطلة. If he doesn't fight this, then that salah is invalid. نعم. If he fights this away from himself, خلاص صلاته صحيح. نعم. ولكن إذا كان من أول العبادة يقصد الناس فصلاته باطلة تاما, وهذا الشرك. نعم, لأنه لم يفعل هذا لله, يفعل لرياء الناس, وهذا صفات المنافقين. هذا صفات المنافقين. When he does it from the beginning, only for the people, not for Allah at all, this is from the ways of the hypocrites. Now, so he mentioned also that, as it mentions, فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ, whoever hopes for the meeting of their Lord, فَلْيَعْمَلْ, then let him يعمل, do عملا صالحا, righteous actions, ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا, and don't associate anyone with the worship of his Lord at all. نعم, فهذا الحذر التحذير من الشرك. The warning and cautioning against falling into الشرك. ثم قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أخوف ما أخاف عليكم الشرك الأصغر فسئل عنه فقال الرياء. He mentioned the thing that I fear for you the most نعم is shirk al-asghar. And it was mentioned, and what is that? He said الرياء is showing off. So of the thing that's mentioned in the notes of Sheikh Ahmad ibn Yahya al-Najmi rahimahullah regarding the riya, of the thing that's mentioned, إذا دخل في صلاته الرياء فقد يبطل الصلاة. قد يبطل الصلاة وقد لا يبطل الصلاة. أمره إلى الله. نعم. If he was praying for the sake of Allah and then riya came into his action of worship, then the invalidity of this salah goes back to Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, him, that person, and their cases with Allah. As for the one, it mentions الرياء الدافع إلى العمل. The riya, the showing off that pushes a person towards an action, and this is riya al-munafiqin. As Allah mentions, إن المنافقين يخادعون الله وهو خادعهم وإذا قاموا إلى الصلاة قاموا كسالى يراؤون الناس ولا يذكرون الله إلا قليلا. Surah An-Nisa 142. That it mentions that the hypocrites, they deceive Allah, or they try to deceive Allah Azza wa Jal, whilst Allah deceives them. How? Allah leaves them thinking they deceived Allah Azza wa Jal, yet they have deceived their own selves. As Allah mentioned, وَمَا ظَلَمُونَ وَلَكِنْ كَانُوا أَنفُسَهُم يَظْلِمُونَ. Subhanallah. الناس الله المستعان كل ما يعملون يرد إليهم هم أنفسهم. Everything that people do goes back to them. إما جزاء بالخير أو جزاء بالعذاب، استحقاقا بكمال عدل الله وحكمته. Either a person is going to get rewarded or they're going to get punished from Allah's complete justice and wisdom. So Allah spoke about the munafiqeen. What do they do? إِذَا قَامُوا إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ When they stand in the prayer, قَامُوا كُسَالَى. تراهم كسالى في الصلاة. They're lazy. ولكن لماذا؟ يراؤون الناس يعملون أو يقيمون الصلاة رئاءً. حتى يرون, until they are seen. So they can be seen by the people. ليس لله ولا يذكرون الله إلا قليلا. They don't mention and remember Allah except for a little. قليلا جدا حتى يظهر Islam. A very little amount, just to show Islam. لما قال أخوف ما أخاف عليكم الشرك الأصغر وهو الرياء. Why is this of the most feared things from people? لأنه سهل الوقوع. It's very easy to fall into. Many people, they suffer this weak personality today. A lot of young people, they have a very weak personality, low self-esteem. So what does that lead them to do? They do things to be praised. And they'll tell you everything that they're doing in life so that you can say, you're doing a good job. But they just need to hear someone tell them they're doing a good job. Or they need to be seen. It's a weakness. Because when you're by yourself, that means you're dysfunctional. You can't function when you're alone. You see, there's like this real personality crisis going on among young people now. We are a nation that we follow, but who do we follow? The best of mankind, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the companions. But you have some people, you can still be a leader as a follower, and you're a leading example in following the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. But unfortunately today you have many people, they're just followers, no leaders now. Very few leaders, many followers. They go where the wind blows. They're like hover bees. You're just always there. And why I say they're like hover bees? They don't do nothing to you, but just be around your ear to be seen. As long as you can see them, they feel good. This is like, Allah al-Musta'an. I don't even know what to say about it. It shows, for me, there's something wrong. Something's not right with a person. They just stand in front of you, they won't say a word. Just so you can see them. You acknowledge them, then they'll go about their business. Then they'll come around again just to be seen again. You acknowledge them, they go about their business. You see? Or they come and tell you all the time, I'm doing this. I'm reading Quran today. I read one juz, mashallah. Started praying sunnah, like. They have to tell you why. For affirmation. لا. If someone asks, did you do something? خلاص, نعم فعلت. لا كل لم أفعل بمعنى لا أفعل الآن حتى لا تكون كذب. أقول ربما المشكلة يعني for example someone says هل أنت صائم؟ قل نعم صائم إن شاء الله. لا ما في رياء في الصيام. الصيام أخلص عبادات. لأن الصيام لا أحد يتباهى بالصيام. No one really boasts about fasting. لأنه هو مؤذي يعني it hurts. You say I'm in pain. Why I'm fasting, brother? MashaAllah. If you have that attitude, then this is the problem. But no one really goes around saying, no one really fasting goes around saying I'm fasting. It's only when, for example, you want to invite them to eat or drink, then they'll be like, you say, are you fasting because you don't want to, you know, if I say, are you fasting, I know not even to entice, I'm not even going to ask you, do you want to drink? Because maybe if I said, do you want to drink, you just at that moment say, you might give up. You might give in. Say, this drink is banging, akhi. Oh, it's fasting. It's not wajib. Khalas, let me get it. But I say you fasting, you say, no, طيب بعدين إن شاء الله. You see? But some things we shouldn't ask about. يقول هل صليت في الليل؟ قمت الليل؟ لا نسأل هذا. Don't ask these questions. هذا بينه وبين الله. هل قرأت جزء القرآن اليوم؟ ممكن الأب مع الابن، نعم، أو الزوج مع الزوجة، يعني هل قرأت شيئا من القرآن اليوم؟ يعني تذكرة. Have you read something of Quran as a means of reminder? نعم. لكن تقول المسجد من قرأ القرآن اليوم؟ الذي يفعل هذا كأنه يرائي. The one who does this as if him himself is what doing رياء. How? لأنني أنا أسأل بمعنى أنا فعلت. يعني من فعل؟ الله مستعان. ما فعلت ما قرأت من القرآن اليوم. أنا قرأت يعني. That's what a person is basically doing. You see, لا. إخلاص أمر شديد جدا. It's a very delicate, severe issue. يعني ولا أحد يسلم من الوقوع في الرياء. No one is safe. You have to be sincere because it's easy to fall into riyah. So it's أخوف ما أخاف عليكم. Subhanallah. The thing I feared for you the most. لأنه قد يؤدي إلى ماذا؟ يؤدي إلى الشرك الأكبر. إذا واحد تساهل بالشرك الأصغر استمر في هذا الحال يؤدي إلى ماذا؟ إلى الشرك الأكبر والعياذ بالله. If a person is lackadaisical with this, they don't take it seriously, it's easy that it can fall into shirk al-akbar. Now they mentioned ثم فسره بقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم explained what is shirk al-asghar, al-riya. He said يقوم الرجل فيصلي فيزين صلاته لما يرى من نظر رجل إليه. Then he's praying and then he starts to beautify his voice. When he beautifies his salah, when he realizes people are watching him. هذا في الصلاة. وممكن ذكر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الصلاة فهو أكثر ما يقع فيه الرياء. Maybe that's where the salah where it happens the most. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أخبر أن المنافقين نعم أخبر أن المنافقين يراء الناس في صلاتهم. Allah informed us that المنافقين, that's what they do in the salah. نعم فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون. يعني المنافقين ساهون عن الصلاة. الذين هم يراءون يعني يراءون الناس رياء يفعلون الصلاة يقيمون الصلاة رياء الناس. يعني for people to see them, to be seen. كذلك من ترك عبادة ليرى الناس أنه يعني متواضع. يعني دخل واحد يعني عنده مصحف يقرأ القرآن، واحد يدخل when he's gone هذا إخلاص. جاء واحد يعني دخل أنا ما أريد أنه يعرف أني أقرأ سورة إبراهيم مثلا. لا يعني استمر في حالك يعني be consistent in your worship. You're doing it for who? Allah. أنت في العبادة لا ترى أي أحد. You can't see no one. Now, when you're in worship, no one exists but you in the act of worship. For who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is swearing on your mother's life shirk? This is coming now. No, this is coming. Inshallah. There's so much things that we say, subhanallah. They don't even say swear on your mum's life anymore. They say mothers. They shortened it to one word. Allah musta'an. Developing shirk. So you got iPhone 13, you got shirk 13 now. You say mothers, no more swear on your mother's life, it's just mothers. Swear down. What's the other one? Big man thing. What's the other ones? Come on, young guys. What's the new words on the block? Allah musta'an. They even say kalam now as well, the kuffar, yeah. This is Arabic. SubhanAllah. They say all these different words. But what's the ruling of this? Shirk asghar. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam قال ومن ذلك من شرك الأصغر الحلف بغير الله كالحلف بالآباء والأنداد والكعبة والأمانة وغيرها. Now, and from that, also from shirk al-asghar, is to take oath by other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like swearing by one's parents, or andad, things that they worship other than Allah, or the Kaaba, or their trust. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا تحلفوا بآبائكم ولا بأمهاتكم ولا بالأنداد. And you don't take oath by way of your fathers, your mothers, nor those partners that you have other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't take oath by anything other than Allah azza wa jalla. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala أقسم بكثير من يعني مخلوقاته والليل والضحى وليال عشر والفجر نعم لا أقسم بيوم القيامة نعم والنفس اللوامة نعم والتين نعم. The Shia is a whole different problem. There's a whole major issue with Shia, let alone them swearing by Ali. Allah al-Musta'an. Just remember this, there was no Shia at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not one. They didn't exist. So, alhamdulillah. So, now, so from this, swearing on your mother's life, the Kuffar said, I swear on my mother's grave. Do you know what's so sad? The people don't understand, this is like, a person's lying, you swear on your mother's life. What happens if your mom dies? Because you took an oath by your mother's life and you lied. This is not something to take lightly. You see? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yahlif wa yuqsim bima sha'a min makhluqati. Allah takes oath by what He wills from His creation. وَيَدُلُّ عَلَىٰ عِظَمَةِ هَذَا الشَّيْء. And it also shows, when Allah does this, the significance of that thing. وَالْعَصْرِ. And the importance of time. نِعْمَتَانْ مَغْبُونٌ فِيهِمَا كَثِيرٌ مِنَ النَّاسِ الصِّحَّةُ وَالْفَرَاغُ. Two favors from Allah many people are negligent of. What? Good health and free time. No. But listen, please, we're not talking about Shia and stuff. Let's stay focused on the class, inshallah. Stay focused on the class. And we don't want to open conversation. We want people to... We always, when we're studying Aqeedah, we have to build asas. All the differences, we don't care about that for now. Right now, we have to build the foundations. When you have the foundations, whether it's Shia, Sufi, whoever it is, whatever Ufiism it is, then you will judge accordingly, based upon knowledge. Now, so also emphasizing this, he says, وَلَا تَقُولُوا وَالْكَعْبَةِ وَلَكِنْ قُولُوا وَرَبِّ الْكَعْبَةِ. Now, don't say وَالْكَعْبَةِ by the Kaaba, say وَرَبِّ الْكَعْبَةِ by the Lord of the Kaaba, and that's who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, it's not for us to swear by other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as it came in another hadith, لَا تَحْلِفُوا إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. Do not take oath except by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, a hadith, man halafa bil amanati falaysa minna. Whoever swears by their trust, then they are not from us. Now, Also, قول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من حلف بغير الله فقد كفر أو أشرك. Whoever swears by other than Allah has fallen into kufr or ashirk. ولكن هذا كفر وشرك أصغر. It's minor, kufr minor. Shirk doesn't take you out the fold of Islam. So that's of the difference between kufr, shirk al-akbar or shirk al-asghar. Shirk al-akbar, it takes a person out the fold of Islam. Shirk akbar nullifies all of your actions. As for shirk asghar, doesn't take you out the fold of Islam, and it only nullifies the action that it occurred in. As for shirk al-akbar, man mata alayhi fahuwa mukhalladun fi nar. As for major shirk, whoever dies upon this, then they'll be in the hellfire for eternity. Amma shirk al-asghar, fahuwa tahta mashiyatillah. As for a person who dies upon shirk asghar, then they're under the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In sha'a adhabahu wa in sha'a ghafara lah. If Allah wills, He will punish him, and if He wills, He will forgive him. Now, also from the things that are from shirk al-asghar, ومنه قوله ما شاء الله وشئت. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من للذي له قال ذلك أجعلتني لله ندا بل ما شاء الله وحده. Forget about the Shia for now. So he mentioned the one who says ما شاء الله وشئت, yani what Allah wills and what you will. The Prophet said to someone who said this to him, now, have you made me a partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What should a person say? Yani ما شاء الله ثم شئت. السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. حياكم الله وبياكم. Ask Sheikh Fawzan, inshallah. Can the minor shirk of swearing by other than Allah become major? Allahu alam. Allahu alam. It's not mentioned. Allahu alam. Now, بعلمي لا يكون شرك أصغر. يكون شرك أصغر. Now, of the thing that's mentioned also is if a person says لولا الله وأنت, if it wasn't for Allah and you, then this is also shirk asghar. You have to say يعني لولا الله ثم أنت, if it wasn't for Allah and then you. Now, I will mention the difference between the two. The difference, that's the next question. ما الفرق بين الواو والثم في هذه الألفاظ? What's the difference between واو يعني وأنت and ثم أنت? نعم. Or وفلان وثم فلان. This is why it's important to understand the Arabic language. Because wa, it means al-atf, and you make them ala haddin sawa, equal. But thumma shows يعني less درجة, يعني ترتيب, يعني تعقيب, it comes after. فإذا قلت ما شاء الله ثم أنت, هذا اعتقاد أنك سبب. That's me showing that I believe you're just a means. It came from Allah, and then you was the means after that what I needed came from. نعم. ولهذا قال الله تعالى وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله فكل ما نريد تحت مشيئة الله. نعم. كل ما نشاء تحت مشيئة الله. Everything that we want and will is underneath the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إن وافق مشيئة الله فحصل إن لم يكن كذلك فلا يحصل أبدا. If what we desire is under the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's going to occur. If it's not the case, then it will never happen. مهما بذلنا من جهد, no matter what we do to try and attain it, it will never come into reality. نعم. فما شاء الله كائن ومن لم يشاء لم يكن. Whatever Allah wills is going to be. Whatever Allah does not will never be. نعم. هذا هو. Then after this, we go back to the reality of what? At-Tawheed. At-Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. Now, أنت دخلت في وقت قدر لك. الآن أنا كنت أقول لنفسي من سيؤذن وثم دخلت مباشرة. سبحان الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر
الله.
لا إله إلا الله
لا إله. Naam. So someone said, I heard people say Allah, Ya Rabb, Ya Rasulullah when they are stressed. Is this shirk? Naam, this is shirk. Why are we saying Ya Rasulullah? Salam. And Nabi Sallallahu في حياة البرزخ. نعم. والدعاء عبادة. ولا يطلب الفرج والاستغاثة من الكرب والشدة إلا من الله تعالى. So when you say Ya Rasulullah, this is not correct. This should not be done. This is from shirk now. لا نقول يا رسول الله. قل يا الله أنقذني أجرني نعم نجني مما أنا فيه. It's important that we are very cautious of these things, because unfortunately some of these things are inherited via culture, not from study of Islam, just cultural practices. No? So you have to be cautious of this. You have to be cautious of this. It's important as well, subhanAllah, you see, when Allah guides you to seek knowledge, you have to be so grateful, because it's an obligation upon every Muslim to learn Islam, but many of us are not learning. Many of us are trapped in the worldly life. That seeking knowledge, we feel like if we seek knowledge, then we're not going to get provisions and sustenance. You have to have a balance. Everything that a person does outside there of working is only going to benefit them where? In this life. Pay your bills in this life. Pay your gas, electricity, this life. Fill your petrol, this life. But what's going to benefit you in your hereafter? You see? You're not going to raise in ranks of Jannah for every time you got a pay rise for being a good employee. You're going to raise in ranks in Jannah for every ayah you've memorized of the Quran. Stuff like this. But sometimes we get stuck chasing that world life so much, then we neglect what is more of an obligation upon us, and what will make us more deserving of an increase of sustenance from Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, Allah huwa ar-Razzaq. Allah is the one who provides for us. But if I'm not giving any gratitude towards Allah for His favors upon me, worshipping Him, learning the religion, preserving Islam, what do I expect? You see? Or why do you think so much people, when they're chasing this worldly life, they're stressed and they have a miserable life? Their life is so miserable, they're not happy. Why? Because they have no nourishment of their soul. The Quran absent from their life. Worship of Allah is the bare minimum. And they wonder why they're miserable, they're not happy. You see? But the one who knows Allah Azza wa Jal, knows that they will get tested at times, they're not going to be attached to these things. You lost money, okay, khalas, I lost it. If I spend that whole life, my rest of my life crying, I made an investment, I lost it. These things are forgotten about. Even me, reflecting upon it, I remember I was trying to do a clothing brand. I invested all my money in it and it failed. Khalas, that's it, it's the end of it. Mentioning now, I don't feel anything. I'm not even angry at the guy no more who flopped my order. The sample was better than the actual order. That's why it flopped. Imagine I get the sample, I said, listen bro, mashallah, jazakallah khair, it's excellent, but can you just change these things? Imagine the real order came worse than the sample. I was like, how did you go backwards? It's meant to go forwards now. You see? But that was it. That was all my money gone. What could I do? Cry, lose my hair? What's that gonna be? Is that gonna bring my money back? No, now I have to go Turkey and get a hair transplant. So I'm gonna lose more money. See what I'm saying? So when we accept the qadr of Allah, we're going to get tested, we're going to lose money, we're going to lose sustenance, we're going to be tested with our safety. When you understand these things, you become less attached to materialistic things. You see? And then you remind yourself the only way out is returning back to Allah. And sometimes these hardships make people go back to Allah Azza wa Jal. That's also from Allah's mercy. Because imagine you wasn't tested with the hardship in this life. You was waited till you was punished because of your transgressions. But Allah gives you a punishment in this life that reminds you to what? Make tawbah, turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which leads us on to the next point, which is Tawheed al-Rububiyyah. Ma huwa Tawheed al-Rububiyyah? What is Tawheed of Lordship? Who can remind us what we said this is in summary? Ifrad Allah Ta'ala bi af'alihi. Is that we single out Allah by way of His actions. Naam. Allah huwa al-Khaliq. Allah huwa al-Razzaq. Allah huwa al-Muhyi wal-Mamat. Naam, Mumit, sorry. Muhyi wa Mumit. Allah is one who gives life, causes death. Allah is the creator. Allah is the sustainer. Allah huwa al-Mudabbir. Allah is one who is in control of all the affairs. Naam. This is all Allah's actions. ليس له شريك. Allah huwa al-Malik, al-Malik. And he ليس له شريك في ملكه. He has no partner in his dominion. Everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. Now, so when we understand this, then we know, for example, all the affairs and the control of Allah. So when hardship comes, who do I need to go to for it to be changed? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sustenance comes from who? So I need wealth and sustenance. Who do I go back to? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I know that's from Allah's actions that He provides for His ibad. Now, it's not in the hands of mankind. They are just asbab. They are just means. Now, فإن شاء الله أن يجعل هذا سببا فكان سببا. وإن لم يشاء أن يكون سببا لا ينفعني بشيء. لا ينفعني بشيء. If Allah does not declare this person is going to be a means, it's not going to benefit with me with anything. هذا ما علم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ابن عباس وهو صبي. Whilst he was a young, didn't reach the age of puberty yet. He said to him, وَأْلَمْ لو أن الأمة اجتمعت أن ينفعوك بشيء لم ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك. ولو اجتمعوا على أن يضروك بشيء لم يضروك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله عليك. He mentioned to him, to Ibn Abbas, these words, important words. He said, no, if the whole ummah, the entire ummah, all of mankind, gathered together to benefit you. Let's say everyone on the face of the earth said, we want to give you £1 million and a house. You will not get anything unless Allah had written that for you. Even if all of mankind, Bill Gates, Branson, what's this new one, Musk, all of these guys, if they were to try and, they said, they got money to do it, they said, I'm going to give you a Tesla for free. If Allah decreed that, it would happen. If Allah has not written that for you, it's never going to happen. Same way, the most harmful person on the face of the earth. One, imagine Allah said, all of the people, everyone, if they gather together to harm you, not one of the one most harmful person, if you hear this person, the biggest hitman on the face of the earth, and he's coming for you, if you don't have tawakkul and fear of Allah, you're going to be like, my life is ruined, I'm finished, I'm done for, what do I do, where do I go, who can help me? That's how you're going to start behaving, right? But the one who has tawheed, saying, I don't care, خلاص. Insha'Allah, قتلني خلاص وأنا راض إلى ربي. That's it. The one who knows, if Allah decrees that, yeah, he's going to take my life, so what? It's done for. This is written. I cannot, what? Change it. Allah didn't say one person. All of mankind. So we understand the real picture. If the whole face of the universe, everyone therein, gathered together to harm you, they could not harm you unless Allah has what? Written it for you. So what happens? You only fear who? Allah Azza wa Jal. And you understand, if I got harmed on a particular day, قدر الله ما شاء فعل. Allah has decreed this. خلاص. That's what Allah decreed. Alhamdulillah, ما كان أشد من ذلك. Alhamdulillah, it wasn't worse than that. No. I got rushed. Okay, I've got a black eye. Alhamdulillah, my arms are still intact. Still got all my fingers. You say, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, the brothers who do BJJ, they started doing BJJ on 2 days, so I managed to get him in the armbar and, I could defend myself. Allah decreed that I learned these things. Alhamdulillah. You look at the bigger picture. Everything of benefit that comes in your life is from who? Allah. Anything of harm is a test from who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You shall be tested. Tested the truthfulness of your iman. In times of hardship, that's when your iman is put to what? Test. So when we understand these things, which is going to be the next topic of discussion that we'll continue next week, inshallah, understanding Tawheed of Allah's Lordship, i.e. Allah's actions, and what this means, where it's derived from the Quran and the Sunnah, and what opposes this. Because that's when you truly understand, I don't worry about anything. I don't fear anything. Because whatever's going to happen, it has been written 50,000 years before the heavens and the earth was created. And as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the hadith, رُفِعَتِ الْأَقْلَامِ وَجَفَّتِ الصُّحُفِ. He said, the pens have been lifted and the scrolls have dried. I.e., what Allah has decreed is going to happen, la mahala. It's going to happen, nothing can change it. But he also said, وَأَعْلَمْ أَنَّ النَّصْرَ مَعَ الصَّبْرِ. He said, no, victory comes with patience. وَأَنَّ الْفَرْجِ مَعَ الْكَرْبِ. And that relief always comes with calamity. Whenever there's calamity, it's going to be relief. وَأَنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. And with hardship comes ease. This is guaranteed. This is guaranteed. So a person always reminds himself, okay, I'm going through a hardship right now. Yes, I'm in the midst of that hardship, but I know Allah has decreed that there's definitely an ease coming at some point in time. It's on its way. The ease that Allah has decreed is coming at some point in time. So I have nothing to worry about. What do I need to maintain? My relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In times of ease, as it also said in the earlier part of that hadith, تعرف على الله في الرخاء يعرفك في الشدة. Make yourself known to Allah in times of ease. Allah will always will know you. And this is a specific ma'rifah khasa, a special knowing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will know you in times of hardship. Naam, Allah ya'tik, yani yujibu du'aak. Allah's going to come to you, answer your supplication. Why? Because ta'arrafta ala Allah fi hal as-suhula wal-rakha. Because you made yourself known to Allah bil ibadah, by worshipping Him. Naam, bimtithal huquq Allah, by fulfilling the rights of Allah Azza wa Jal, fi waqt al-rakha, in times of ease. هذا فضل الله وهذا رحمة الله. يعني تقيم بالواجبات 5 صلوات. هذا تعرف على الله في الرخاء. Make sure you do your 5 daily prayers. This is knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in times of ease, maintaining, making dua to Allah Azza wa Jalla, not only when hardship comes, but when things are easy, when things are good. Ask Allah to preserve that for you. Ask Allah to keep it that way. Ask Allah not to test you. Never ask Allah to test you. La. Ask Allah to protect you from being tested in these things, to be tested in your iman, be tested in your worldly life. La. Don't ask for test. Now, always ask for the ease, the relief from calamity, the aid from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as we mentioned, the more we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this will reflect in how we function and have a great impact in how we understand that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed for us. ونسأل الله التوفيق والسداد لما يحبه ويرضاه ونكتفي بهذا القدر. اللهم صل وسلم على نبينا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.